And as you may know, homelessness continues to be a problem in Minnesota as well as within Anoka County. And with the temperatures that we have been experiencing the last couple of weeks, really hovering in not just single digits, but below zero weather, our efforts to find a solution becomes really even more dire. And as one measure of the extent of homelessness in our local community, the Heading Home Anoka Housing Collaborative organizes and executes a one-night count of individual families without a permanent home called the point-in-time count. And I know that people always say, why on earth would you do this in the middle of January in Minnesota? This particular date is set by the federal government. So that's why it happens at that point in time. In 2017, volunteers in Anoka County identified 142 people who were homeless, some of whom were families with children. This year's point-in-time count is set for Wednesday, January 24th. And this morning, we're going to learn a little bit more about what the count is, why it's so important, and how each of you can get involved. I'd like to call on Jerry Peterson, Director of Community Social Services and Behavioral Health, to begin a conversation. Jerry?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to talk about such an important issue and an opportunity for people to participate around the issues of homelessness. I appreciated, Commissioner, your comment about the weather and how cold it's been. I think it does give us, although unpleasant, it gives us an opportunity just to empathize a little bit about the struggles of individuals who are homeless out in this kind of environment, and how important it is for all of us to participate in finding places for people to live that need it. I do have the opportunity, I'm going to introduce to you a few individuals, a couple who are going to speak here this morning and provide you some information. They spend numerous hours trying to improve the lives of those who are homeless, and their passion and commitment are encouraging and inspiring to know individuals such as this. First is Jonna Krantz, and she's the current chair of Heading Home Anoka Collaborative, and she's also the program director for Stepping Stones, which I know many of you are familiar with. And then Michelle Reed is our Anoka County Homeless Program Planner and Coordinator. I know many of you know them. And then we also, although she won't be speaking, we also have Betty Nato from the YMCA, and she's the current vice chair of Heading Home. And they're just going to briefly, as the Commissioner said, walk you through some information about the Heading Home Collaborative and the point-in-time count. So, ladies.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us come in to talk about this. So as Jerry said, I'm Jonna. I'm the program director at Stepping Stone. But I'll tell you a little bit about the Heading Home Anoka Housing Collaborative that I'm the chair for. Heading Home Anoka Housing Collaborative is our local HUD initiative to end homelessness. We work together in the suburban communities of Washington, Dakota, Scott, and Carver as a continuum of care to collectively report our results to housing and urban development. The point in time counts the number of people experiencing homelessness on a given night. Michelle will go into more detail that in a minute. The housing inventory counts the number of beds we have to house those who are experiencing homelessness. The results of both the point in time and the housing inventory count are reported through the annual housing assessment report to Congress, which then determines the amount of money available to the continuum of care of ours, like ours, to compete for funds to aid in our quest to end homelessness. Then, based on the system's performance measures, HUD awards the dollars to the continuum of cares to continue our work. So there's a lot going on in this whole process. So Michelle, I'll skip back. This is a large representation on your monitor of community agencies that are partnering with us in Anoka, the Anoka Housing Collaborative. Those agencies who have attended at least 50% of the meetings over the last 12 months are eligible to vote on issues related to the collaborative. So. Now Michelle will take a few minutes to talk about the point in time.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here. What is the point in time count? Well, it is a housing and urban development's assessment on the number of people experiencing homelessness across the county or across the country on a given day. And why is the point in time count done? Well, it's done as a measure of community impact on homelessness, and it evaluates the need for additional housing resources and supportive services. When is the PIT count done? Well, the entire state will be counting on Wednesday, January 24th, and locally, Anoka County reports with the suburban counties as our continuum of care, along with the other continuums throughout the state. Those results go to HUD, thus creating what the big picture of homelessness looks like across the county, the state, and the nation. Who conducts the point in time count? Well, social service agencies, nonprofits, and community volunteers. And where is the PIT count done? In outdoor locations, emergency shelters, and transitional housing programs. So the Anoka County point in time data from literally homeless, for those from 2015 through 2017, as you can see, these are the numbers that were directly reported to HUD on literal homelessness over the last 3 collective years. Looking at specifically Anoka County's point in time data for 2017 by the household type, when we zone in on that and break it down, what we see that while there are 48 households who live outside, 104 households that are in shelter, 252 households are actually couch hopping or living with other people. This is really what homelessness looks like across Anoka County and why it may not appear as obvious as it does in Minneapolis and St. Paul. And how people can help. This link will provide folks with information on how they can volunteer at anokacounty.us/2018 PIT count. That is, again, happening on January 24th. There is a training for each person who volunteers, and they are paired with others who've participated before. So, Madam Chair, Commissioners, I would like to thank you for the opportunity this morning to discuss the point in time, why it's important, and how people can get involved.
Thank you so much to each and every one of you who are involved in this process. Just appreciate the passion that you have for trying to find housing for people within our community who are experiencing homelessness. And there's a lot of work behind the scenes that happens each and every day, and want to make sure that we get the word out so that we do actually have the accurate counts out there as much as possible. So again, thank you so much for your great work.
Thank you.